Thanks for staying with us now. Vice President Oshibajo visited Hanifa's family after attending the 53rd conference of the National Association of Law Teachers held in Kano. Hanifa was the 5-year-old girl who had been declared missing in December 2021 and eventually murdered by Abdul Malik Tanko, the proprietor of the school she attended. So last week, I touched on that story on the video showing the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, showing concern for 2 young girls seen on the streets of Lagos during school hours carrying a bucket on their head. So while we commend these acts of compassion being exhibited by our political leaders, we are asking, where were these people before now? No, are these acts from a place of, honesty? Are they genuine? And why do they wait till it's close to elections, right? Close to elections before they seemingly start to do their jobs or do what is supposedly supposed to be the right thing to do? Now, please, let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. You can leave your messages on YouTube for those that are watching online. Please, the WhatsApp number is for messages only. You can't call it because somebody had already started calling the line. All right, ladies, I come in peace. That's why I wore yellow today, sunshine. I want to bring sunshine. But you see, in recent times, I have been just online thinking and just musing, what's happening? All of a sudden, the Yobe State government is trying to raise billions. I can't remember the exact figure now. My head is pounding. I can't remember the exact figure, but it's in billions. They're trying to raise to revamp the schools in the city. They did a fantastic, I watched the live broadcast today. Fantastic presentation of how they showed all the dilapidated states of their schools, how Boko Haram and all the insurgency had, destroyed most of the schools in Yobe, and they showed a few students, a few children saying, in Hausa language, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a this. So they want to support the dreams of those children and ensure that they build back the schools, from a place of love. They want to build the schools and all of that. So I can't sit down and think. This thing is not today that it started. We know that education remains one of the biggest problem that we have in this country, where we do not see any form of governance happening there and all of that. Then, of course, you see now all of a sudden somebody dies, there's a visiting happening, or is it the one that, the governor saw 2 girls on the streets, trying to talk to them and all of that. So I'm just asking, I'm not here to listen. Do you think, as citizens of Nigeria, when you see these kinds of acts, do you see them that these people are actually doing these things because they genuinely care about you, the citizen, or you think this is just all part of, I just saw Sansi dropped a comment on our Instagram page. She said, let's just say it is strategic compassion. Wow, I thought that was profound. Sansi says, let's just say it is strategic compassion. What's your thought, in all honesty, ladies? We are trying to be honest here, because why? Let's open our minds. Out of all of us, shine your eye well. 2023 is just around the corner. But let me hear your thoughts.
I just want to say one word. It's just one word. Then before I will give it to Norma. This is while Sansi said is strategic compassion, I am saying it's compassion for campaign.
Okay.
Because that is what they are actually doing. I rest my case here for now.
Norma, what do you think?
I had to go look up the word compassion. I like to start from the origin just to be clear on the direction. And it says that it's a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another who is stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering of those people.
Oh my God. You just made it worse.
So in that context, when I look at some of the things that our politicians are doing, great, brilliant initiatives. However, how consistent have they been
over the
in
years,
being this kind of people over the years? Yes. That you are known, for somebody to be known as a compassionate person, or maybe you know how they give nicknames and all of that, and they say the compassionate governor. It means that you have consistently been doing something. It is part and parcel of who you are, and not just something that shows up even when you have compassion, but when it shows up in critical moments like this, and it begins to feed the people's mind as you are looking for votes for campaigning. So I would wish that they could employ strategy. Let me borrow Sanzi's language. Strategy from day one. Even if it was a strategy, you know, it should have been something that you have built up, as in it's a script that you would have written in the past 4 years. So there's a level of consistency, you know, and history for you as a person, so that even when your intentions become known eventually, people can see that there's a track record of what you say you represent in the minds and hearts of the people. So it's and then another aspect for me is I see Hanifa and I'm wondering how many more Hanifas are out there who did not get the attention of the president, or even you know, the populace, right? How many more? There's so many incidents we've had over the years of people abducted.
Sylvester or money.
There's Sylvester.
There's the girl in Abuja right there with the vice president,
you know, so
where
different
a condom was found inside of her.
That you begin to wonder,
and she died.
That there are so many, and what are we really doing if we want to be seen as compassionate people? What are we doing to all of those Hanifas and all those Sylvesters that are out there?
Yes.
So while I would applaud what they're doing, seemingly, I want it to be coming really from a genuine place, and it will be for the benefit of a whole lot more than just a few, because that would seem that it is for campaign purposes.
Absolutely. Let me hear, and I'll come back to you, Isi.
Personally, I think it's an overstatement to call it compassion. Because like Norma just said, she explained what compassion means.
I say when she defined the compassion, it don't make the...
Now the thing is, compassion comes from within. It comes from inside. But if you're doing something for show, I don't see it as compassion. You're just doing it because you want people to think that you are good. It doesn't mean that you are compassionate. Because okay, now you've put it on TV, everyone has seen it, and we've watched it, and we think, oh, very nice. So after that, what next? What's the follow-up? Are you going to see it through to the end? And the truth is, you would not. So you saw 2 kids on the road. There are thousands, millions of kids who need education.
2.7 million to be precise.
Thank you.
Over 2.7 million.
A whole lot of people.
In Lagos State alone.
If you consider yourself compassionate, when you got into your seat, that should have been part of your agenda. That should be something you should have started. Hanifa, like you said, Hanifa is just one out of many, and you're visiting her family. Are you going to visit other families? If you do that, then we will commend you. Because that shows that you're actually doing the work. You've gathered your data. You've come up with a strategy that this is what I want to do. These are the people I want to enrich. And then we'll see and we can commend you. But doing it close to election period doesn't cut it for me. I cannot, for the life of me, commend such an act. I don't see it. I don't see the compassion. It's the wrong move. Like it is campaign. Simple, period. Stop.
Let me come to you.
Compassion for campaign. I will reiterate it again.
Strategic
compassion. So for me, basically, we've practically said it all, basically. And this, for me, is what resonates the most, is that we all know that this is an act. We are no longer fooled. From time memorial, we've seen this.
Guess what? I was going to even throw this question at you.
Yes.
It's good you just said we are no longer fooled. Because I was saying that, do you think that we are fools? Because it seems that this strategy always works. Because for them to keep on doing the same thing for the how many years we've been in democracy, When it's close to election, you see them coming out. That's when they are visiting this person, going to, for them to continue to do it like this, like the same pattern. Does this not tell you that we are fools and the strategy seems to be working?
Sometimes it's not even for us. The game is not for us. It could be for the international community. It could be for another player. It might not even be for us,
the people that are not literate.
That are not literate. And it's crucial that we understand something about these people, or these politicians that we have, or crop of politicians that we have. They've played this game time and time again, and they've mastered it. And they've so mastered it in such a way that they now know the loops, and they know where to, get the attention of the electorate. We are the electorate. We've done this, and like I said, we are getting smarter by the day.
Absolutely.
When we see this, look at the comments that they had. Somebody actually said, "Oh, why didn't the governor stop talking to the girl and help the girl to bring the thing down?"
Mr. Macaroni did his version.
Yes. And we also have Governor of Enugu State, who also did something like that. He went to the market to campaign. When was the last time the governor actually went to the market? Does he know the state of the market? Look at Shongo Tedo. How many times has the governor come down that way? So it's when it's time.
What is even actually really tiring for me?
Yes.
There was a young girl that died in Abuja, just here in Abuja, of a condom that was found inside of her.
Yes.
That's one case. There's another boy or so that was killed at an Islamic school, or was stabbed or something, or was used a blade. You took that story, Jennifer. Yeah. Where a blade was. So the cases when you want to talk about.
Aside from that, he should have gone to IDP camps.
You don't even get the point. The thing is, because people are saying, just before we came on Waze, I heard one of the guests on Plus Politics saying that the vice president, for instance, specifically chose to visit in Kano because because again there is the acceptance of the northern region that needs to happen. If at all he's nursing the idea of becoming president, he needs to buy the vote. They're buying off the north. So I mean, this is actually very interesting, and it's all playing out. But we are getting lots of messages. So let us start to take it, because if I say people are here to fight us. Somebody says every action in Nigeria taken by a politician is politics and not compassion. Governor even forgot to ask them, drop the water while addressing them. This is from Mr. Hussein.
Which was what I said.
From Uyo, yes. He forgot to ask them to this thing. So let me see. I want to ask Isi this question. This is from someone, but you're not putting your names. Please put your name so that we can. Someone says, what is wrong with us? It's asking, that are you people saying that a pastor like VP doesn't have compassion? So I'm asking you people question.
He has strategic compassion right now, as far as we are concerned, basically, because if he has, politicians in Nigeria have played to the gallery from day one. From day one. If the president or the vice president actually had compassion, he should have gone to the IDP camps. As far as I'm concerned,
it's not even that. There are too many places to visit.
That's what I'm saying. There are too many places to visit.
But
too many.
National.
We have national obligation to go to these places. Responsibilities to go to this place. Yes, I understand. But the bottom line here
not even to go to these places. He has other national responsibilities.
Other pressing national issues. So I think we will need to open our full eyes, because me today I'm not saying anything. I just came with a question. Here we try to. So I try to get people to start to think. It's not just so much of talking. Really reflect.
Provoke your thoughts.
Let's provoke your thought a bit. We're not here to shatter table, because we like our glass table. We don't want it to break. But we want to be able to get people to start to think deeper when they see some of these things, right? It's not so much of just trying to blame or trying to throw shades at anyone.
No.
It is even for them. Maybe some of these things, they are actually blind to it. It's possible that they're not seeing.
It's a blind spot.
It's a Auntie, thank you very much for the English. You know, it's possible that they are blind to it. They're not seeing it, that we are seeing it. You know, so let us leave the phone line open. We want to take a break. Please, I want to hear people's thoughts. It's not for me to answer today. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us. If you just tuned in, it's our Ladies' Night Out, and we are discussing Nigerian politicians, and we're asking, is it compassion or is it campaign when they show love? All right, please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WeShow, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803. That's it. All right, so our phone line is now open, rather. So to call us on 07025007449.
Can I quickly?
Please, when you call us, let me just finish with our audience. When you call, turn off the volume of your television set so that we can hear you, please. The number to call again is 07025007749. I think these things are in my head, so it's on autopilot. So
Can I quickly just chip in that, in all fairness, I'm sure there are a few people who have compassion at the back of their minds when they did some things, even though at the point where they tried to engage or initiate was a wrong timing, right? Because we mentioned rightfully earlier, strategy. Your strategy, you must be able to look at things a whole lot more holistically. It's not just about doing something. You know, sometimes an idea is fantastic, oh, let's roll. And then sometimes, like, I don't know, about maybe the advisors or people around our politicians or the people they surround themselves with that tell them, oh, this is brilliant, this is something that we should do.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure it's the governor's advisors that gave him that advice.
And at the end of the day, they initiate without really thinking about it a lot more critically. And then at the end of the day, it backfires, right?
Yeah.
So even though you had a compassionate intention, it ends up coming out as a campaign stunt.
We have our first caller, Suleiman from Bauchi. Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
I don't know of other politicians, but concerning the vice president, I'm not really happy what you people are saying against him. This is the fact that I have visited so many families. Visited IDP camps in Maiduguri, in Kaduna, and Yobe and Adamawa. So going to Hanifa's house, have you people seen her picture?
Yes.
Very beautiful.
Have you seen the girl?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. Make your point, Suleiman. We are asking the question, so it's meant for you. Suleiman, 1 minute.
Official duties. And he used that opportunity to visit the family. And even the first lady is there now today. So we shouldn't be condemning people.
Suleiman.
Because we don't know the heart of men.
Suleiman, can you hear me?
Yes.
So we are asking you the question. It is left for you to now tell us if it is a place of compassion, if you feel it's from a place of compassion or not, right? That's the question, because you are seeing it the way you are seeing it, but we have studied a certain kind of pattern, and it's just a blind spot that people need to start to see, right? We are tired of politicians trying to do things just because they are trying to gain favors from the electorate. Do you understand? If you're doing your job, you will do your job. You don't have to wait until it's a political season before we start to see certain things. That's the question we're asking. All right.
That's why, hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I say concerning the vice president. Because the pattern he has followed since 2016. He has been visiting several places. He has even visited a place in Abuja, one of the rural areas, to condole a family.
So that's very good. Thank you for that.
So we need to understand.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So he believes he comes
Yes. So he believes so that's your belief that yes, that he comes from a place of compassion. That's the we are not here to. I said it. I'm not fighting nobody. The question is for you to come and answer. And the thing is, again, If your actions are coming from a genuine place, it will show.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody to defend, or and you don't need to be defensive, right?
Yes.
When it comes, we're just asking an honest question, right? So if I show love, because even with friends, right? I am even also learning that even with friends, you have to also check the intent. I think it is this Bible that says test all spirits, right? Check the intent of the person. Even the person that is coming to say, oh, I like you, I just want to be your friend. Are you coming to be my friend? Or you are coming because there's something you think you can gain from me. It's a natural human feeling, right? So we already know that this is something that happens. But we're just wondering, why is this pattern, I mean, today when I was watching the fundraising, they were talking about how Rocha Sokorocha has been someone that likes education. He loves education. He has schools where he gives free education, pays free whatever and all of that. So it is only natural for him to have been there for that fundraising for the school and all of that. But you see, don't forget that a lot of things that our politicians do, there is a lot of political undertone. So we are even telling them, maybe it's a blind spot to them. Can they tone down on the political undertone and focus on the governance? Because you see, if you focus on governance, you do not even need to do too much politicking. It will we are the ones that will do the politicking for you. We will push the agenda for you. You understand? So that's all we're asking.
And I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair that we ask these questions, because this is something that has been happening for years.
Exactly.
We've seen this since we were really young, since we were kids and teenagers, and now we are adults, and it's still the same thing. We're trying to come up, we need people to start having these conversations and discuss these things, so that when it's time for election, you will not be blinded. But I mean, we, the educated ones, the literates who feel like, oh, they know and they cannot be bamboozled by the government. There is that. But at the end of the day, when election comes, you still see people selling their votes. People who are being bought, who know that you are certainly not doing this for compassion. You're doing it for the campaign because you want to get in the seat.
Because that's why
they are educated. But you see them voting for these people.
That's why people will tell you that, you know what, as the 4 years they come, let me just collect my own, because I will not know when I will see them again.
Exactly.
This is why we have a problem.
Let me state a fact here.
So let me take a caller. Let me just take, I'll come back to you, Isi.
Yes.
Don't lose your thought.
All
Education. Youngest or old man, thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Good evening. Yes, a quick one. Let me come from the side of compassion.
Okay.
We might see it as, it do happen once in a while. If something happens in the village, I have an opportunity to travel home. You go and check out the people that things happen to. It will not happen again. You pray for them. Sanunku. So we see on that side. But you see, even the guy that killed the girl went to cry with them. So basically, the heart of man, it has a lot of things that even you cannot quantify. So basically, I think we should not go that deep, because you can never know the heart of man.
True.
But all I want them to understand is, how do we get quick justice for that guy? What is the message that the government, I mean, how do you say, the government are sending to the government, that if you do this kind of thing, there's going to be quick justice and somebody's hair is going to roll? Because if you don't do that, and set an example, people will think it's on that way for Obasanjo to come and greet their family. Or Obasanjo to come and greet their family. And it will not become a thing of the day, because Nigeria were very good followers of anything that brings profit. Let me tell you the fact, if they don't treat this thing very carefully, it might bring another turn. So for me, I think they should just do something. There should be an orientation that this is wrong. And
Focus on justice.
You're going to die.
Thank you.
Let us see it openly that this is bad. But if I know it now, this story will just go out. And now it's already taking another thought. You can see what's coming up on post. We don't know what the next channel will say tomorrow. And it will just be like another political downturn. But basically, we should treat this thing with heavy handedness, because dangers everywhere. Not red people everywhere now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well,
You're going to say.
I was going to say something in respect of education. The government allocates, education is one of the lowest revenue that is given to, allocation that is given to
in the budget.
In the budget, basically. Now, why am I saying this? Look at these individuals who were the cream of the society coming together to generate so
Billions.
much money for education. Why didn't they donate it directly to the federal purse? And they will say, okay, let's take it.
No,
see
it's
where
the
I'm
state
coming
government.
from. No, see where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the aspect that if they care so much for education,
I get you.
If they cared so much for education, then they should have gone through that route.
And they didn't need to wait, yes, and they did not need to wait for what's it called, for this kind of fundraising, because it was streamed live. Hey,
No, it needs publicity.
let me take a call. Okay, Mr. Austin from Benin, thank you for calling, and I'll come back to you. I think we have some messages.
Good evening.
Hi, good
Good evening
evening.
to you all.
Hi, Mr.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of our politicians actually they do things to impress the people when election is around the corner. But in the case of the vice president, looking at the way he goes about his things, you will discover that he's not a man, he's not a desperate person, he's a very serious-minded person, and he's gone past that level where he will want to do things just to make people feel that is because of election and all of that, So if you'll be following his activities so far, you will discover that he's one serious-minded politician that we have in this country.
Okay, thank you so much.
I like the fact. Good professional.
Thank you. I like the fact that people are calling to defend. And that's all we need. So this thing is not fighting. You know, there was something I think the previous caller called, the youngest woman, he said that if you're doing the job, so for instance, the girl that was murdered, right? What would make sense is that if justice is served, and this man probably is electrocuted or something because it's death that he deserves. He does not even deserve life imprisonment. He just needs to die, right? So if justice is served and you keep on doing your job, so for instance, cases for Sylvester Oromoni, they find justice, the parents find justice, the girl in Abuja, they find justice. All these cases, if they are finding justice, you will not really need, because you remember what he said, it will not become a thing of, I am coming constantly, everybody's coming to visit, so everybody will be expecting that, so let something happen to me. You remember that even with kidnapping, at some point, people started kidnapping themselves because they knew that the ransom money would come out. Do you understand? So we already know that Nigerians tend to abuse everything, right? So instead of getting to that point where you need to go and visit anybody, if justice is truly meted to the person that, so then even the visit will just be an addition, right? It will not be what I now look forward to having. But let's take some comments.
Yeah, okay, I have this comment. It's from, okay, there's no name. It said, hi, girls of ways. Oh, we're girls now.
Yes.
Your program is fantastic and inspiring. In fact, I'm always glued to Plus TV at 8 p.m. weekdays. For the topic of today, I will bluntly tell you it's campaign for the fully. Nigerians, like you used, are too smart for this kind of so-called political compassion. Enough is enough. Love you, girls. Well, I mean, this it's interesting, but I wanted to say that, and it was in line with when Jennifer was talking. If we really want to showcase compassion, then we need to do what is right.
Yes.
Compassion is about being passionate about doing the right thing. In my own, definition. So if things are, and when the description that we had, the definition that we had from dictionary said that you have to be so moved that you want to do something about people that are in a deficit state, right? So what are we doing with our policies? How are we not pushing for the right policies to be made? Okay, or passing bills, or pushing bills that will help so that no other Hanifa needs to go through this.
Norma, let me even add something to what you're saying. For Hanifa, what would have made sense is that, can we standardize all the schools in Kano? Because you see this kind of one-man school, you understand? If she was in a proper school that had a proper board, everything, that it was a standard school, would a proprietor pick her, you know, and saying he wants to go and kill her, you know?
Pepper,
You know?
well.
So would he do that? You know, so, I mean, there are so many policies that can be put in place that somebody would have seen the proprietor carrying the girl and say, no, this girl should be in school. You know, there are too many things that you can actually put in place if you really care about the people that you govern. Because time and time again, we see these politicians, they really do not understand the plight of what Nigerians are going through.
I mean,
Go ahead,
so many times I see it, and then I'm like, what is the way forward? It's not just about a one-off. We have this, and then it's in the euphoria. We're in the euphoria of the moment, and then
it dies off.
It moves on.
There
are too many cases. So what are we doing about future reoccurrence of certain situations?
So it doesn't happen
certain
again.
things that are plaguing our society, to really show that you're compassionate.
Absolutely.
You might be compassionate in the area of education. What are you doing to change that narrative
Thank you,
in
Mama.
education?
Let me take-
in whatever space or area of influence.
Let me take Daniel Rollins, I think, from Ibadan, I believe. Thank you for calling.
Hello?
Hey, thank you for calling.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks. Great program you are running.
Thank you.
From my point of view, and from what we have seen over the years, the truth is, it is all politically motivated. Now, even if you tell me about an individual who has been investing in education all this while, helping out, yes, this could be a line of compassion, but it all has political undertone. Hello?
Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So I want to highlight on the VP, like you said. If you watch the trend associated with the VP, there was a time it was as if we don't have VP in this country.
Yeah.
Just suddenly, as we're approaching the political climate in the country, it became so noisy. Everywhere is everywhere. It's almost everywhere now. Why? It is not because of 2023. So nobody to tell us otherwise.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. We just want to hear. I only brought the topic so that you will help us to. Jennifer, your comment.
Before my comment, I like what Daniel just said, because it was a conversation that was had on Twitter. I think it was sometime last year, because people were asking, where is the VC? And where is the VP? We've not seen the president, but what about the VP? And a lot of people kept saying, oh, his hands are tied. Is this? And people are like, there's still things that you can do to show the public that you are doing the little that you can do. There are structures you can put in place. There are programs you can put in place. There's so many things. I think every day, if you go on the news, you check newspapers, there is always one death, one theft, something about people endangering their lives in Nigeria as a whole. So there are so many things that you can do as a governor or as a president. But yeah, there's a comment from YMD. Hi, Queens of Talk. This is now show of compassion by our politicians is what betrays their ulterior motive, which is politicking. The only way they can convince us that their compassion is genuine is for them to be addressing the plight of the masses, even when elections are not around the corner. And it's that simple. He has said it all.
You know, I was going to say that, okay, so this is not to throw shades only at politicians. Let us also bring it home.
Yes.
Generally, philanthropists, you see them, they do certain things because they want to seek favors from government. Because even in that fundraising, I said today, I just analyzed, and they see that, even the businessmen and all of those people contributing, it is for the future contracts that they will get. That is why they must go and register. And that is why you see people, a political figure is celebrating birthday, they take a whole newspaper, everybody must show, say, me, say, for. You know, it is a pattern. Everything, every intention in Nigeria is almost like it is because of what I need to gain. Right? So when you see the few people that do things, I know what I do. I know what Mani does in the prisons. She's been doing that for over 8 years. There's no political undertone to anything that she's doing, because she's even doing it in Lagos State. Because normally, the next thing, if I want to go into politics now, I'll start, every weekend I'm in Benin. Every weekend I'm in Benin. Why? Because I have to go and do the impact there. I go and buy food and give them bag of rice. And all. So this thing is beyond even politics. It is across board. A lot of us as Nigerians, right? When we eventually start to do all this philanthropy and all of those things, you would know that it's for future. So that I can gain some level of whatever tomorrow when I come out to say I want to do this. Can we stop all of that and just, you know what, actually help people and
For
just
the
look
sake
away. And the way it's said that you let your reward come from heaven.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
I wanted
Let
to-
me take my comment.
Okay.
Yeah,
go
take
ahead.
your comment. Go ahead. Take your
ahead.
comment.
Okay, my comment goes thus. The word compassion or love is really a scarce commodity in today's politicians. Every day, banditry, kidnapping, inflation at its peak, and terrorism on the increase. But the politicians could not propound any solution. See them shamelessly trying to score a political point from people's misfortune. And this is from Raphael Zaria.
Well,
So we have 4 minutes.
when
to-
I think of compassion, I think of people like Lady Diana.
Oh,
I think of
yes.
people like
Mother
Nelson,
Teresa.
Mother
Teresa.
Teresa, Nelson Mandela.
Oh, yes.
These were people who did things or became popular for doing what they
Just
were passionate
because.
about.
Yes.
Not even because they were looking for popularity.
No.
It was people that began to see. And like I rightly said earlier, there are some politicians who might have compassion and are doing things, but in your strategy, can you do it in such a way that it's not right in people's faces that it's for campaign purposes, and at the same time be known to be this
You don't know that
person?
it's waste of investment.
Be known, no, but well, be known to be that person that you are trying to portray. Because
I've heard somebody that said, wait till December.
so that
Yes, now
so
so it
that
can
will come
count.
in time.
Hey,
But hey, I think it's also an eye opener for people, you know, like Nigerians. You are now beginning to see through some of these cracks, and you know that these are not genuine intentions. Can you begin to see yourself as a person of dignity and honor?
I deserve more
and
than
that
this.
I deserve
Absolutely.
more.
Let me come
than
to you,
this.
then I'll
Yeah.
come to you, Jennifer.
All right, for me, basically, I would just say that we can, the handwriting is practically on the wall. We can see through the phony.
And you think we're not fools anymore?
We are no longer fools.
Okay.
It is glaring. Everybody can see that. But my take is I would wish that the less educated will be able to see through this as well. And I rest my case.
Jennifer.
Well, I believe that we are no longer fools because we are having these conversations. We can see through their act. But then my question is, when it's time for election, are you going to say that you're not a fool, or are you actually going to vote these people
Survivor
into
will take
power?
over.
That's why I said
Because
the
they're
less
going to
educated.
come up with juicy things. I mean, probably towards the end of this year, we'll start
Oh, juicy.
seeing the bag of rice coming in, bags of onions and peppers going out to the public. Little monies here and there. Celebrities, influencers who, I mean, they've already started campaigning for these people, and we can see it. We know that, oh, last year you were saying, oh, no, but now we are seeing you campaigning for them. I mean, 2020.
You know, it's actually interesting when you said all those bags of rice and all of those things. So for me, I think even with that, right, it's already happening. Because, I mean, I was watching the news. I'm a news girl. I don't really watch, apart from, it's only news I watch. I was watching the news, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, where the federal government was talking about, you know, the poor people and all of that to mitigate the pressure of the economy. And I think it was about, they said to give about 5,000 naira to underserved and all of that. I think 5,000 naira stipends and all of that. So when you hear things like that,
Unemployed?
I think it was something around that.
Okay.
I'll find that out. But there's a money that they are supposed to give out to, you know,
Just to
augment. When I see things like that, I don't see that as what's it called, that you're truly trying to alleviate poverty.
No.
So my sister works and lives in France. And I remember during the initial lockdown, and this happens most of the European countries, and I think they also did it in the UK and in the US as well. She was even in shock that they sent she just saw credit alert of I think about 600 euros or something. Why? And because they know that she had not worked for a period of time, so the government was trying to, you know, help all the families and all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? They didn't have to wait till election period. You get? These people, even abroad, there is corruption. I watched the video of the scam that happened with COVID, nose mask and all of that in the UK. In fact, we are still waiting for the answers of that one. There is corruption, but the challenge, the difference with that is that, and what the person wrote, he said, the media, you understand, is not quiet. The media always seeks to expose. So we are not here to bash any single person. We're trying to just open the minds of a lot of people. The goal of this show is to get people to start to think critically on issues, right? We're tired. We actually believe that Nigeria deserves more than what we're getting, and we know we can get better. So we want to finish this show and let people start to question, why are you bringing rice to us? Why are you doing this to us? So you would know why these things are happening. So it's no longer about politics all the time, but actual governance. So on that note, thank you, Jennifer. Let me calm down. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Isi. We had a fantastic conversation. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our conversations and engagement on social media. We see that it's only drug challenge people are liking on our social media page. We talk about more important things, so but follow the conversation, like, share, and please always share. There's love in sharing so that we can get more, traction. All right, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. This is so critical, right? We need love and compassion for us to survive as a nation. We'll see you guys tomorrow, live at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Oh, sorry, I have a shout out. Shalaya, happy birthday, Uti's son. He's 6 years old. I forgot that. Oh my God, happy birthday, Shalaya. We see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.